Hey guys, once again, this is the upteenth time because of some interruptions, but I'm not saying. There's some interruptions, but yeah, let's get on to the video. Alright guys, today I'm going to be talking about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reboot movie that is in development, not production, in development. They're developing the film, and Michael Bay, yet again, is in production of the film, but yet, Platinum Dunes was the company, the studio, whatever, that made the first two films in 2014 and 2016. But they will not, I hope they don't, but I hope they don't make Megan Fox the voice actress for April. I feel if they do something very good, like Mae Whitman, I think, did the voice for April in the 2012 series. Yeah. So what I want to talk about first is the designs. The Ninja Turtles themselves, they should have 1987 designs, but a little bit upgraded, for today's technology, and to make them unique. You see, back in 1987, they were unique, but not unique enough to tell them apart. You see, they had the only thing that made them unique, besides their belts being taken off in the 1980s, was their masks, and that's it. But now, most of the Turtles do not have this removable belt on the figures. Now, this is what I'm going to be talking about. I'm saying the 1987 design, but a little bit tweaked. Like, Leonardo could have, the scabbard on his back that's removable on the action figure, but in the movie he should have, the Leonardo, the scabbard, no name on the belt buckle. That should have it, on, I'm not sure what, I don't think that should have the name. That should have the name written on the, yeah, maybe that should have the belt buckle name. But yeah. So here we go. Leonardo should look like that. Leonardo should have, the scabbard on his back, the blue bandana. But, I don't agree with the red bandanas. Because, maybe, but I feel kind of crazy about the Turtles having one color of bandana, and that's it. And, maybe I do agree with the old Sword then. That maybe the bandanas should be red in a teaser trailer. And about, I wouldn't say 30 minutes, I would say about 10 minutes or 15. That's just my speculation. That should have that. And no more of this crazy bow staff stuff. Come on. Come on, Paramount. Why does Donatello have to have a real, updated bow staff? I know it's today's technology and you want to make it all fancy, but try to make it like a wooden bow staff this time around. I'm kind of okay that he has a bow staff, but come on. And that's the only thing he should have if he would have. If there were toys for this movie, I'd say Leonardo should look like a regular turtle with one strap going across his shoulder and over his shell, and have no marks on him whatsoever. Now, Donatello, as crazy as it might seem, I don't think. It should look like the Turtles should look. I know it said 1987 designs, but yes, that. But yet that should look a little different. Leonardo should look normal with the two scabbards crossing each other. And then have Donatello have the bow staff holder on his back, like on the belt, and he shouldn't have a strap. I don't think he should have a strap. I don't think it looks great. Raphael should have a strap though, because I don't know why. I just think it should be like that. Well, you know what? No. I take it back. No. Raphael should have the sergeant in the front. Like the original one did. And Michelangelo should have the nunchucks in the back. Now, yes, they should have the comic book look of the Turtles for like 10 to 15 minutes. But then, not only that, but they should have like three weapons for each. Now, what I think should happen in this movie is the origin where they, rise up to be the Turtles. Like the new series. It should be like that, but it should be called Rise of the TMNT, the movie. That's what it should be called. It should be called Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie. And it should be part 1 instead of just, it should have a 2-hour time frame. And it should probably look like that Raphael should be a tad wider and a tad bit bulkier. I mean, less bulkier than the last 2 movies, of course, but a little bit bulkier than the rest of his brothers. Just a little bit, like the 2012. And Donatello should be real tall. I'm talking like the tallest out of all of them. I'm saying that, I don't know about voice actors though. I don't really think about that. The second thing would be the origin. The origin. It should be the comic book Turtles. It should be the comic book Turtles for 10 to 15 minutes. This should be like the comic book Turtles. Okay, here's the thing. They should originate as baby turtles and be toddler mutant ninja turtles or whatever instead of teenage. And then they should go to, being a preteen and then being the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's all I think it should go. Now, the way I see it, or the way I think about it, what should happen first would be that, it should, what I think it should have is it should explain the origin story of how, we never actually got shown, we never actually was shown the backstory behind how Splinter and Shredder got enemies and stuff. I mean, we're good guy and bad guy. We never got a showing of that, except for in flashbacks, like when Splinter was telling the Turtles this is what happened. I was with Shredder. Well, now, in episode 3 or 4 of the 2012 TV series, Splinter talked to Raphael about how him and Shredder were fighting, and Splinter said something about a fountain over words or something. But yeah, that should happen. Like how Splinter was oozed, and how Orokusaki was the Shredder, and whatnot. Then it should go to the Turtles being, like, just pet turtles in a pet shop, and Splinter gets them. Well, Hamada Yoshi gets them, and then they actually get ran down by the Shredder or something. Not by the Shredder, a Rokusaki or something. And Splinter or Hamada Yoshi gets oozed along with the Turtles. The Turtles get oozed first, and then Splinter gets oozed, and then they all of a sudden find themselves in a store, and they make it their home, and then Splinter starts training them, and then they come up to meet, like, April O'Neil instead of, the first movie, the 2014, it shows April talking about the news. But yet the 1990 movie explored their origin, but when April encountered the Turtles. Not in the beginning. I think that the origin story should start in the beginning. The very beginning. Like, as I was saying, like, maybe they should meet up with April and then switch over to Orokusaki, and then he, works somewhere or something, and then his face catches on fire and probably burns his head or his whole body, and he gets armor and turns into the Shredder or something like that. Okay, so, yeah, I'm pretty good at showing origin stories. Maybe they should have hired me as the writer for the script. I pretty much know everything about it. I could create, like, the person who wrote the 2014 script probably didn't know about the complete origin story. That origin story went as follows. That April O'Neil was a kid reporting in, not reporting, but recording in a lab, and the Turtles and Splinter were a lab experiment, and April saved the Turtles and Splinter, and April named the Turtles, not Splinter, in the 2014 script, 2014 movie. Now that kind of explained an origin, sort of. But though Splinter was just a rat, there was no Hamada Yoshi, there was no Hamada Yoshi's pet, there was no, Hamada Yoshi turning into a rat. It was just that. So, the rhymes. So, yeah. Now, question. Which origin story from the Turtles is true. Now, if you would like, if you like the original comic, then the original comic could tell something about the original story, the origin story of Splinter and the Turtles. But how I see it, or think about it, is that maybe that, Hamato Yoshi could be, a man living in a house with his wife and a baby. Or, I don't know. Actually, you know what? He could just be a man living in an apartment in New York. Yeah, that's what I think. I think that if this is actually being listened to right now, then oh my gosh, you got another thing coming. Because the origin story should begin like this. Hamato Yoshi living in an apartment in New York, and he might feel lonely, so that, he might need companions one day and decide to walk to a nearby pet shop or something, or I don't know, and then grab 4 turtles and then rush back home or something. Or as he's walking home, he, he runs into a Rokosaki, an evil man or kidnapper or something. Or something, I don't know, something evil, something bad. Or, a thief or a bad guy or something. And then, a Rokosaki could have, ooze canisters or something. He could be, a scientist or something. And, he might, pour the ooze on the turtles and whatever, and Splinter. And then, disgraced, he could, Orokosaki could, go to the sewers and then, wake up one day finding out that he's been mutated along with the turtles being human and him being a rat or something, because he was nearby a rat or something. And then he, makes a place in the sewer his home and a place to raise the turtles, and he starts training them. And then maybe he could shift to one of the turtles only finding red bandanas for them to wear as part of their, get up or outfit or what, their clothing, might as well say it, their clothing, and Splinter gives them, training weapons and stuff and whatever. And then it can shift to about 10 minutes later or something where they're, in red bandanas, and I'll pull that off and then see that. And then, after, maybe half an hour, 10 to 15, 20 minutes to an hour, one of them gets, all of them get mistaken for the one turtle. And then there's this one part where I'm gonna join in with the Otsuwaden and say that Raphael finds 3 other bandanas from a pawn shop or something. Well, a clothing store, maybe a pawn shop, I don't know. And then the turtles get their unique bandanas, and they one time would have temporary weapons like Tonfas, in the new series that's coming out. And then, they would all of a sudden, meet April, reporting, or, just being a New Yorker or something. And then, like, it could switch to Orokusaki being like a lab experiment or something. Like, doing an experiment. Because I could probably be imagining that he could be a scientist or something, I don't know. And then, like, he could, like, have some accident and his whole body is messed up to where he'd have to get armor and clothing to cover himself up and call himself the Shredder and get a Foot Clan started and foot soldiers with swords, knives, throwing stars, and stuff like that. And then the turtles see Shredder, and then Splinter tells him that maybe that they could, like, go fight him or something. And then they go fight him, and then they know that he is kind of powerful or something. And then Splinter goes fighting Shredder, and they kind of recognize each other, but not the same way as they did. And then, like, I don't know what, like, I think that maybe it should be just that. I think that maybe it should go, like, they should have, like, like what I said, it could, like, do the origin story with Orokusaki and Hamato Yoshi being, like, Hamato Yoshi being a lonely man needing companionship, and the Shredder, Orokusaki being a scientist or something, and then Hamato Yoshi finds the turtles, and then gets, like, mutated by Orokusaki. Like, it should show the original, like, what the Shredder and Splinter used to be first, before they turn into what they are now. Like, you see what I'm saying? The origin, like, they never actually shown that except for, like, in flashbacks. But what I'm saying is that's probably what should happen. Like, because it doesn't show, like, a jealousy or rival. It should just be like that. So, yeah, that's my number 2 thing. Number 3 should be the weapon of choice. Now, I kind of mentioned weapons, but maybe they should choose, like, a staff with a blade for, like, Leonardo, a staff for Donatello, but not real, like, very generic, very basic, like, just a stick, a nightstick maybe. Raphael with Tonfus, and Michelangelo with, I don't know, 2 staffs with a bit of change in the middle, maybe. And then they'd go to the normal weapons. I think that's maybe, yeah, that should be what the weapons would look like in the movie. That's what they should be. That's just my guess and what I think should be in it. And the 4th, like, the 4th thing is how they introduce Shredder. And like I said, maybe Orokusaki could be a scientist, and then one day he could probably be in a lab accident where his whole body completely is messed up, and he has to go, like, make armor but not robotic. Like, it could still be a human, but with just armor and updated armor and stuff, and with a sword and maybe a gun and maybe a shield and of course a cape, I would think. And the final thing is how they introduce April. The final thing, how they introduce April is probably going to be maybe she is somewhere where the turtles are at after, maybe she sees the turtles and thinks that they're freaks, and then they introduce themselves, and then they get to know each other. And then Shadow comes along, terrorizing the city and stuff. And, April should just be a New Yorker. So, yeah. That's just basically what I think should be in a rebooted Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. And that origin story, leave a comment down in the comment section below if you like that origin story, what I just said. Because if the script matches that origin story, then, oh my gosh, that would be a great thing. Yeah, really, that would be. Just put it in the comment section below. Sorry for making this video a real long video, but, yeah. And you know what? I could even go in if I could probably go further. The van that could be used for the movie is probably I don't know, just a van. Well, anyway, I'll talk about it in my next video later.